Good morning, folks.
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning.
Morning, Eric.
Morning, Eric.
Morning.
Good morning.
Great to see everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a restful weekend. I know some of you were doing deliverables, some of you were working, some of you were taking care of family. So maybe it wasn't as restful as you wished it could have been. Whatever the case is, I just hope you had a nice weekend. Amir, what is going on with your? I'm so confused right now. Is your hair always that long?
Yeah, I just grew it over the weekend.
Wow.
No, it's always tied.
Well, it looks great. Very sharp.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Enjoy it while you can.
You saying I'm gonna go bald there? Come on.
I mean,
Gotta have
maybe
more
well, you
hope
do
in
look
me.
like you look like a movie star. You look like, I'd see you on Hollywood.
Appreciate it.
Of course. Didn't mean to call you out like that. I was like, wow, is that really how long your hair is? That takes some serious patience to grow your hair that
Has
long.
to be a wig, right?
Yeah. I told you. Thursday when y'all saw me, it wasn't this long. It's not real.
All right, Amir.
Man's got hang time.
I'm gonna put Amir in the waiting room, and he's gonna get no credit for being here today.
Unlucky. It's not really me.
Awesome. Anyways, I'm really glad to see everybody. And yeah, it was interesting what you said about Mondays are not happy, but here's the thing is that hopefully my hope for all of you is that you can get to a job one day in your life. I'm gonna word this very carefully, okay? Get to a job that you mostly like. All right. Now, why do I put it that way? Why do I say go to a job that you mostly like? Anyone have an idea in the chat box? Want to raise their hand? Jesus, what do you think?
Because to some degree, you're never really gonna fully like your job,
Sure. There's always going to be parts of your job that you just are not super jazzed up about. But to mostly like it means, I don't know, 80% of my job I really enjoy. Sikander, what do you think?
I mean, work is still work, even if you're passionate about it, there's gonna be some days where you're just like, man, I just wish I could stay home and do nothing, or man, I wish I could just go out. Um, you know, it's work, right? And you're always gonna see it as work, even if you enjoy what you do. And sometimes maybe there's that individual that'll stress you out, or just like a certain project that might stress you out and you just don't want to be bothered with it.
Totally. There's always going to be components of work that you're going to feel like I would rather just stay home and play video games, or stay home and watch a movie, or stay home and take a nap. But I got to get this done. And of course, there's always going to be people and projects that are not your favorite thing in the world, but you still have to get them done. Totally normal. Yeah, Jason.
To me, it means nothing is perfect. So even if you have like your quote unquote dream job, you're still going to find aspects that you do not like. And that's just human nature.
Yeah. I love that, Jason. How many of you guys, you can give me I'm going to call him in a moment, Tyrell, but give me like a thumbs up or a heart or something if you've heard of the blog Humans of New York, where this photographer goes around, takes photos of people around New York City and asks them their story. They have books as well that he's put out, and he's gone all around the world. Really remarkable person, really great story. I encourage you to follow him on Instagram if you haven't, or on Facebook as well if you're on Facebook. But he has this really great quote. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but he says, there's a lie out there that says, if you get a job you like, you'll never work a day in your life. You've heard that one before. Get a job you like, you'll never work a day in your life. He says, that's a lie. He said, the thing of it is, even working a job that you like, even following your passion, it's still work. Still requires you to do some things that you don't like to do sometimes. Brandon Stanton, thank you. Tyrell, last comment, and then we'll jump into class.
Dang, I feel a little attacked because I was just gonna say, like, if you have a job you like, it's not work. For me personally, I felt that. Because when I worked at Brooklyn Botanic Garden, it never felt like work. I went there, I had fun, and when I left, I didn't have that stress of, oh, I got to do this tomorrow, I got to do that in the third. No, I left work like, okay, work's done. What's next? I was excited about going to work. So
Well,
I'm kind of like, I don't like that phrase of his. Like, I don't think it's a lie. I just think people haven't really found that job where they're like, I like all aspects of my job. I don't mind coming into work today.
so where was it you were working, Tyrell?
Brooklyn Botanic Garden.
Oh, okay, okay. So what were you doing over there?
I was a program assistant. So I was just running programs from children from 3 years old to 13 on earth science, working with plants, bugs, animals, beneficial things to the garden, how you can be a benefactor to the world and take from the world and give back at the same time.
Mhm. So it sounds like a very fulfilling job.
It was. I loved it. I want to go back, but timing does not allow me to.
Sure, understood. A lot of yeah, things like that have changed in the last year and 3 months. Cicada, do you have another question or comment? Or is that a hand from earlier?
Sorry, it's from earlier.
Not a problem. So anyways, Mondays, right? I mean, I look at my own professional career and I like Mondays a lot more than I used to. And to me, that's a win, right? Like I don't ever get the Sunday scaries. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm so dreading it. Monday morning kickoff, project management class, meetings, emails. I mean, other things that I'm not passionate about within my job a year up, sure. I mean, that's normal. But 80%, 85% of what I do, I really enjoy. And I feel very fortunate to have a job like that. So that's my hope for you, that you can find a job where you say, you know what, 85% of what I do, I enjoy. Yeah, Alan.
Speaking of jobs that you enjoy, I was scrolling through LinkedIn this morning and I noticed, Eric, you're ordained.
Yep.
When did that come about? And like,
I mean, I don't know how long you want to dive into it, but I became an ordained minister when I was 27. So that would have been in 2013 or 2014. And yeah, I'm really involved in my local church. I'm one of the leaders in my local church here in the Bronx. And that's what I do in my volunteer time. Yep. So
interesting. It was just something that popped up on LinkedIn. I was left field. What?
yes, yeah, I have a lot of interesting things. When I was in my teenage years, I was a sponsored skateboarder. When I was in my 20s, I was a competitive power lifter. I used to be a overseas worker in Zambia and South Africa. I had a very full life. I'm very grateful. My wife is German, so I've been to Europe a lot of times in my younger life. So Tony Hawk out here skating, not nearly as good as him. But anyways, that's just, I look at it like this, life is full of so many opportunities to seize. And I never got what people say they're bored. I'm so bored. I'm like, you're bored? Are you kidding me? You know how much stuff there is to do out there? But anyways, yes, ordained minister. I'm actually giving the sermon this Sunday, so I got to work on that at some point this week. So thanks for asking, Alan. Yeah,
No problem. Thanks for answering.
of course. All right. And also the interesting thing about my background is that I have people in my family who are Christians and people in my family who are Jewish. So I grew up in an interfaith family, which gave me a lot of interesting experiences as well. So anyways, I'm not that interesting. We'll keep talking about Melvin, who's very interesting. Melvin, assistant instructor. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing really well. It looks like you're in a very clean, nice office
yeah.
today working.
Yep.
Are you taking care of those plants yourself or somebody else?
Someone else. I mean,
Someone else.
yeah, I mean, it's fake, so doesn't really matter.
Oh, what? No way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you and Keith worked in the same office. You guys have the same Zoom background. So, Melvin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty boring. I mean, I like playing video games, watching TV. Not
Mhm.
really too fun.
Well, I think that sounds cool. What's a fun fact about you, Melvin?
I mean, I'm not sure this is a fun fact or whatnot, but back in the day, I almost got bitten by a snake.
What? What were you doing to get bit by a snake?
We were in a school trip back in, I want to say 9th grade or 10th grade. We went to we went hiking, Black
Okay.
Rock. It's a bit like 2 hours away from here.
Uh-huh.
We were walking out in the woods, and all I heard was tss.
Right.
That's all of it. Yep. And then I saw like the snake just what do you call it? Almost like just jump out of nowhere on me. But they didn't bite
Lunch.
me. Though. Yeah, lunge.
That generally is my biggest fear ever. Now I have a
Yeah, I
follow-up
mean,
question. Did it like bite you and like stay on you, or did it like bite and like take off?
oh no, no, I missed.
It missed.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. My gosh. I'm glad you're okay. Wow. Have you gone hiking since?
Nope, never. That was the
You're
first
like,
time.
I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty crazy. Okay. What's a question you want to ask our group, Melvin?
What is one thing you guys can't wait to do in the summer?
What is one thing you can't wait to do this summer? All right, Melvin, what's one thing you can't wait to do?
Well, it's been a year and a couple. I haven't been playing soccer, so I want to go back and play soccer.
Oh, very cool. I love it. I love it. What position do you play?
I play mid,
Midfield? Okay,
midfield.
great. Great. So a lot of running.
Yeah, lateral one. I'm out of shape too, so I got to get back into that.
You and I both, man. COVID has put me in really bad shape. I tried to do a pull-up on Saturday at the playground with my kids. I couldn't even do one pull-up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is not good." So hopefully we all get in better shape this summer for those of us who need to.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Melvin. Well, we appreciate you being in our class. You always have good things to say. You always do really great work. So we appreciate you being today's assistant instructor. So with that said, in the chat box, high evasion stat, I'm not sure what that is. Cookouts, water parks, vacation with multiple ends. Roll a high deck save, be outside, shirts, wear t-shirts, work out outside for the winter. You want to see some ocean, just some ocean, not too much ocean, just some. I'm with you, just some ocean. Like one day of the ocean is good enough for me all summer. Poconos, that's where I'm going. Michael Perez this summer. I'm going there in August. Maybe I'll see you out there. Jorge wants to play soccer with you, Melvin. There you go. IT help desk soccer pickup game. What do you think? We'll cancel class one day and I'll go play soccer. Does it sound good?
Yep.
All right. I'll be the coach. On the
As long as
sideline.
you barbecue with us, Eric. yeah.
Barbecue, yeah. Soccer and barbecue. Perfect. Sounds like a fun day if you ask me. Playing dominoes. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Hang with friends. Basketball and only basketball rush, he says. For summer to finish and then hit autumn. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. Eric on the grill with the dad shoes for sure. That's right. All right, excellent. Well, it sounds like a very fun summer. It's really crazy, the announcement that got made on Thursday with the CDC. I mean, I'm trying not to be a cynical person, but I thought for sure they were gonna like tell us to keep masks on for years to come. We won't spend all class talking about masks and if you should or shouldn't wear them, because this is not, mask management. This is project management. So should we talk about some project management? We'll jump into it. If you guys want to go off camera for this portion, feel free to. We're gonna go ahead and talk about today's lecture. I'm not gonna put this in the conversations where we don't have a whole lot of time, but I'm sure all of us can relate to this scenario. You kind of set out to do something, right? You have a dream for yourself, a vision for yourself. I'm going to be like this guy going on a nice long run. I'm going to be in great shape. I'm going to get that degree. I'm going to, whatever your goal is, buy that house, move out of the city. I mean, the list goes on and on. We've all at times in our life have wanted to do something. We talked about it quite a bit, and then we never did it. A few years back, I remember I wanted to do a triathlon, not like a serious one, like a scaled back one where you ran half a mile, you swam half a mile, you ran a 5K, you biked 10 miles. Not a big deal. They have one in Jersey every year. And like 8 years ago, I was like, I'm totally gonna do this. And guess what? That was 8 years ago, and I still have not done it. That's just part of life. You set out to do something and you don't. So when it comes to project management, what can happen sometimes is a failure to execute. So we've talked so far about planning for projects. And go ahead and in the chat box, tell me if this statement is true or false. If you plan a project, everything will go perfect. True or false? If you plan a project, everything will go perfect. Seeing a lot of falses in there. And of course, that answer is correct. No matter how much you plan, things are still going to go wrong. The execution phase in project management, though, is you want to, as much as possible, mitigate things that could potentially go wrong. Okay. So execution phase, and this is a midterm question, so remember this, it's the longest phase in project management. All right. You're gonna build the bridge, you plan out, the blueprint, you get the team assembled, you get the funding, you build the project charter, you get everything set, and what's the execution is the actual building the bridge. It's the actual digging the ground, getting the materials set up, it's doing all that. It's the longest phase in project management, and it has to be broken down into bite-sized pieces. We're not going to watch this video because for the sake of time, but you as project manager, your goal really is this: quality assurance. Okay, so making sure that everything goes as it should. No one's cutting corners. Everyone's doing their part of the job to make sure that the project is executed as it should be. Very important in project management to make sure that everyone's doing their part. By the way, I wanted to ask, I'll ask you in a moment, but take a second to think about it. What did you learn from Rachel on Thursday, and how are you going to apply it to your professional life? I want to spend a little bit of time debriefing that here in about 2 minutes. Before we do though, next thing, of course, is acquiring your team, making sure that they're up for the challenge. And the last bit here is managing everything. So this is why project managers are in such high demand. This is why they are paid so well. This is why the job is also stressful at times, because you're holding people accountable, you're motivating them, you're resolving issues, you're managing the changes that happen. You're kind of feeling like this person right here. You're juggling a lot. All right. Those of you who are feeling like PM may be calling you, my first piece of advice is learn how to juggle, because that's going to be your life. You're managing stakeholders, you're managing financial resources, you're managing expectations of the team, you're managing, changes going wrong and being able to adapt, all while you don't have any authority over any of these people. If I see Sikander's picture on my screen, if Sikander's my boss and says, Eric, I need you to do X, I'm going to do it. Why? Because he's my boss, right? And that's just sort of how things work around the workforce. But if Sikander's my project manager and I'm on a project with him, and he says, hey, Eric, I need you to do X. And I say, listen, Sikander, I got so many things going on this week. I got X, this, and this. I just can't do it. Sorry. Now Sikander has to think a little bit more creatively. How's he going to make sure I execute against my goal? That's what a project manager does, is able to help people juggle everything that's going on while managing all the different expectations of the team. So with that said, I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment. And I kind of want to hear from you guys, if you don't mind coming back on camera, if you're able to. Does anybody have any feedback for the meeting we had with Rachel on Thursday? Anyone want to raise their hand or put in the chat box something they found interesting, something they learned, maybe even something you've already applied to your professional or personal life? Alan, I saw your hand first.
The idea of influencing somebody, in ways that I haven't thought of before. My background in management has been like direct management of like a group of people. So the whole idea of like word is law kind of applies. Like they're my direct underling. So if I give them a task, they're expected to do it. But there have been times where I've gone to other jobs, or I've been in situations where I'm not really their boss, and I've definitely had an issue trying to justify to them why they should follow suit in what I'm saying. So I definitely will be working on that and trying to figure out how to influence rather than demand.
Definitely is a learned skill. I'm glad that was helpful for you. Thanks for the feedback, Alan. Sikander?
Honestly, the thing that stood out to me the most was using inspiration or inspiring your coworkers to follow your lead. I never thought of it that way. And when we're talking about inspirational people, the first one that came to my mind was Elon Musk. And I don't know if other people have watched like the YouTube videos that a lot of people are making about him and like his journey throughout his companies, but realizing that you can use that method to inspire the people that are working with you as the project manager is like, I think like one of the best ways to motivate them to want to do the work on their own rather than just following orders or following a guideline or steps.
Yeah, Yes, absolutely. And if you guys noticed today, Monday morning kickoff, you met with your coach and you talked about your why, right? The I was, I will, I was, I am, I will be. And that's very inspiring, right? When you're in the grind of deliverables and classes and everything else you have going on, to remember what your motivation is helps propel you to the next step. Excellent observation, Sikander. Thank you. Eli?
Yeah, two things that stood out to me was one is the listening, like actually listening instead of just like going through one ear and going out the other. And the other one is just overall just being like more confident in yourself. Those are two things that I think I'll be working on.
I love that. Yeah, listening is not easy, is it? Oftentimes we listen just to interpret instead of just understanding what they're saying. So yeah, listening and then also, yeah, that's really, really helpful. Excellent. And being confident for sure. Thank you, Eli. Amir with the long hair.
That's my new name now. Amir with the long hair. All right, so for me, it was mostly on the listening part, like what Eli said, but to dive more deeper, it's like when you're listening to something that's not that interesting. For me, before I'd like zone out a little bit,
Yeah.
but because I would take empathy into account when we're talking about something regarding to emotions, stuff like that, not an actual topic. But now it's like if I want to listen closely, like let's say Eric's talking about something boring. I like Eric, he's a cool guy. So I'll look at him instead of the topic and I'll be able to listen more closely, right? And it's actually helped me over the weekend as well. So I've already been applying it.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And I never ever had boring lectures, Amir. That was very offensive. I'm just kidding.
I just knew you wouldn't take offense. I used you as an example. I'll use
Thank
Miguel
you.
next time. We always use him.
Yeah, poor Miguel always gets picked on in our class, but
I got you.
it's because he's tough.
Always
Yep.
here for it. It's all good.
Next
Taking
time,
one-
next time.
Taking one for the team. No, I appreciate that for sure. It is very easy to let your mind drift and think about something different. So yeah, being proactive, and I'm curious of what you how you started using those skills, but I'm not going to put you on the spot, but we can talk offline because I think it's interesting to hear how we're applying these in our personal lives as well. Yeah, Izzy.
One thing that stood out to me the most was her past experience that she talked about. It gave me like a brief explanation and a brief eye opener to like project management. Project management is not just open to just businesses; it's also open to other corporations like filming, graphic designs, anything that you can really think of has like some type of management inside of it. And to piggyback to what Amir and Eli was talking about, the listening concept, I have a tendency of when people are loquacious and they go on and on and on and on, my brain just shuts off and I can't comprehend. So I'm trying to take the accustom to raise a hand and be like, hey, may you please slow down instead of just letting the person just talk all the time.
Yeah, I hear you. I have a relative. I won't say this person's name, but she tells a story, and she tells like if the story were the alphabet, she tells A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. And her husband, when she starts going on to her long story, says, "All right, sweetie, tell us the letter A, tell us the letter M, and tell us the letter Z. Just high level, high level. We don't need a 40-minute story about how you ran into your, friend from high school at the grocery store. We don't care. Just tell us in 2 minutes." And I'm with you, Izzy. People start talking and talking, talking. After a while, the eyes glaze over. Sort of like, all right, come on, put a lid on it. I hear you for sure. All right, let's put this into practice, shall we? We're going to practice, control and monitor. You did your planning, you did your preparation, and like I said earlier, just because you do all those things doesn't mean things are not going to go wrong, right? And I want to see how you're going to react when something goes wrong in a project. I'm going to put you into groups of 3 here in about 5 minutes or so. And I'm going to give you a scenario that you have to discuss what the plan of action is. So I'm going to read the scenario, and I'll copy and paste it in the chat so you guys have it to look at. Sound good? This is a doozy. What can I say? I just love Monday morning torture. You're leading a project team that consists to create a 4-week learning campaign to creating an inclusive work environment to present to your staff. All right. Your team has been working hard for 2 months to make the best campaign, make it the best campaign it can be. One of your team members, Richie, has not been pulling his weight. Sound familiar to anybody? You can say yes. Richie is the designer of the PowerPoints and said he needs time for, quote, creative process, end quote, before he creates the PowerPoint decks. Everyone else has done their deliverable, booked the rooms, carried the food, hired the AV people, emailed the staff, and practiced their talking points. But Richie's slides are still not done. It's Monday morning, and your first presentation is in 1 week, and your team is getting anxious that Richie isn't going to complete his deliverable, even though he insists it's under control at your weekly meetings. All right, that's what's happening so far. Richie is a made-up person. We're not going to assign Richie any value to anybody in our class or in our community. He's a made-up person. You trust his judgment, but you ask him to have a one-on-one with him on Thursday to measure his progress. Worst case scenario, you think, is that, you know what, I can just do the presentation over the weekend. So when you got into Zoom on Thursday, Richie never shows up. You email him, there's no response. You call him, he doesn't answer. You ask if anyone else has heard from Richie, and no one has. You call his boss and said he's out sick that day. Your presentation to the senior leaders is on Monday, and now it's Thursday at 5 p.m. You guys feeling stressed out yet? All right, feeling a little stressed out. Richie says under control. It's okay, well, let's check in together Thursday, and Richie's MIA. Now, oh wait, your phone just rang. It's your mom, and she told you your grandpa just passed away, and the funeral's on Saturday at his village in Puerto Rico, and she booked you a flight for 7 a.m. tomorrow. What are you gonna do there, project manager? Any questions on your scenario, Sikander?
So the first scenario, how much control do you have over your team, like as when it comes to like substituting people?
So this is all one scenario, and you have as much control as you need because you're the leader of this project.
Okay.
Any other questions before I break you guys out of what your plan of action is? Eduardo Perez, how much time do you need to solve this problem, sir?
I don't know. I'm bad with time. I don't know, like 5 to 8 minutes.
All right, 5 to 8 minutes. All right, that sounds about right. I'll give you guys 6.5 minutes. How's that sound? Miguel, do you have a question? Thank you, Eduardo.
Yes, I do. I don't know if this is relevant or not, but is it how close were we to this grandparent?
Let's just say that you spent every single summer going to Puerto Rico and enjoying time in his village, and he's like a second father to you.
Oh man, Grandpa, no.
Off you go. Enjoy. Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Miguel, it's always a pleasure to have you as a hype man in this class.
And it's always a pleasure to have you as an instructor, my good sir.
Man, you make Mondays just that much better. All right, let's hear from your great PM minds. What are you gonna do? Davian, what's the game plan?
All right, so I was in a breakout room with Renee and Henry, and we actually came up with like several good ideas. I feel like so one thing we were saying is that because of the unfortunate event that happened with the grandpa, we would try to get a flight back that Saturday night or maybe Sunday morning, hold a meeting with the rest of the team that Sunday morning, and just let them know like the situation that's going on, and seeing if like we can collectively just input information into the PowerPoint so we can just turn all that information into one PowerPoint. Just because like we really have no other options. Like it's just do or die at that point. And then as well as because I remember you mentioning a video that you were doing for Europe, and then like having like deadlines for like rough drafts and stuff. Like I feel like that's another thing that should have been situated. Like yeah, Richie said like he had everything like under control and things like that, but it's just like we should have had a date where we could have like a rough draft of that PowerPoint in, just to make sure, because you can say you have everything figured out, but it's like the rest of the team is not in the loop. So it's like we're not aware of what's really going on. So just having a day where we can have a rough draft also would have helped.
Yeah, a little bit more planning and like real-time feedback would have avoided this situation majorly. Yeah, because it's obviously a very unique balance. On one hand, you want to trust. If someone says things are under control, you want to trust they're under control. But if you're not showing anything, it's like, well, can I really trust you if you don't have anything to show for your work, especially with the deadline approaching so quickly? And Claire, what would your group do?
So in my group, we actually had a situation like this happen when we had to project manage. So with me personally, when I'm working in a group or whatever, I feel like you just have to just have the kind of mindset that people are going to let you down. Therefore, you have to always have a backup plan. I've never worked in a group and didn't have a backup plan. So, with project managing and you're giving people a task or whatever, I feel like if you're getting the impression that somebody isn't going to deliver, then me personally, I've already did the work. So if I asked you to do one thing, if I asked you to do one thing, I've already did it. So that if you don't deliver it, I already have a copy to deliver. So to me, I see it as like I don't really lose anything, because if you deliver it, great. If you don't deliver it, I already have it. I already have it here, or whatever. In terms of the grandfather, when working in a team, you'll kind of realize who's reliable and who isn't reliable. So I would, as soon as I find out the information about my grandfather, I will shoot the fastest email to the most reliable person on my team. And I'll be like I'll let them know everything that happened and let them know, like, listen, I emailed you because you haven't let me down, like no pressure, but I really need you to take control of this presentation for us, because so and so didn't deliver and I cannot be there right now. I know that the person that I picked, they're not going to let me or the team down. And in terms of Richie and him being positive for COVID, it honestly doesn't change how me and my team will move about the situation. You didn't deliver, and that's fine. You won't get any credit for this, but you're not delivering is not going to make me or our team's project fail. That's just my mindset.
I love it. I love it. So you reach out to the most reliable person. And I love what you said as well. Just be real. Like, listen, like my relative has passed away. I need to leave New York for the weekend at least. And I'm trusting you to take care of this. And then the last thing I would probably say is, I want to get back to the city. Like, we're gonna go out for dinner and celebrate. And I'm buying. So something like that. Just like a little bit of motivation. Let them know how much you appreciate them. Amir, last comment. Then we're gonna go to our next activity.
Yeah, so I won't try to repeat anything so we can move on, but I was thinking along the lines of, because communication, it seems like it's like the most important thing in project management and like in your team. So Richie should have communicated, so he needs to step aside a little bit, and because he had like a whole month, 2 months in advance. And when you communicate your whole issue with the flight with your team, like Friday or whatever, the night before the flight, maybe then someone will step up and take lead on that presentation, even though that's not their expertise. And you never know, maybe that flight has got some Wi-Fi. You could communicate there too. And that's about it. I think just communicate as much as you can.
Yep. Yeah, it's always good to over communicate for sure. All right, I'm gonna give you guys another scenario. This scenario you're gonna do on your own. All right, so you can go off camera for this. I'm gonna put it in the chat here in a moment. Let me give you about 5 minutes to work on it, and it's gonna be a little bit of a monkey wrench in this. I'll explain here on the back end, but just hang with me for about 1 minute. I'll explain it, and then I'll give you some time to work on it. So you're leading a project team responsible for making sure every member of your 2,500 person organization updates the latest version of Zoom for increased security. All right. You build your team, drafted a budget, and are ready to execute, and some things go wrong. The first thing is that a person responsible for all mass communications got sick and will not be working for the next 2 to 3 weeks. The second thing is that Zoom has updated to a newer version than the one you were planning on upgrading to, and it's an additional $299 per month more per user, blowing your budget out of the water by $7,500. But of course, it was updated because of increased security. Lauren in our class today is the CEO, and Joshua's VP of IT, and they want to speak of this project from delivery, not in 8 weeks, but 4. You're walking into their office to share an update of where you are in the project. So Joshua, Lauren, and I are going to go into a breakout room. We're going to spend a few minutes having a chat because we're the senior leaders. You're the project person, and you're about to walk into our office and tell us what's going on. All right, I'm giving you 5 minutes to make a plan by yourself. And I'm going to come in here, and Lauren and Joshua and myself are going to pick who do we want to hear from. So everyone needs to be prepared. All right, any questions on what we're doing? All right, CEO and VP of IT, I'm sending you guys to your room. I'll join you here in a moment. The rest of you go off camera and make your plan. All right, folks, the manager spoke. They'll be ready for who they want to call on here in about 1 minute. All right, I just closed the rooms. Lauren and Joshua should be back here in a minute. Everyone, please go on camera and we'll go ahead and do our scenario. Let them come back. All right, there's Joshua and Lauren. So let me do this. All right, let's see if I can get it to work. Allow to multi-pin. Oh, there we go. Pin. All right. Gallery mode. I'm gonna pin you, Lauren. All right. And the person that we want to hear from today that we discussed in the breakout room is Raphael. Raphael, you just walked into Joshua and Lauren's office. We need you to explain to them what's going on with the project. The floor is yours, sir.
All right, cool. I'm having issues with my camera, so it's gonna be off for a while, but okay. I didn't expect to get called on. All right, so what the scenario is, I walked in the office now. I need to explain like what's happening, like what's the haps. Well,
yeah, you're explaining what's going on with the project. So this is your, your meeting with Joshua and Lauren. You're sharing an update with what's going on. You have to, of course, include everything that's going wrong and how you as a PM are managing that. Is that clear, Raphael?
Yep. All right, cool. Okay. Hey, how's it going, Joshua and Lauren?
Everything's going
How's it going?
Could be better. We're having, issues at the moment.
What kind of issues?
Well, where do I begin? For starters, the person responsible for letting people know about our the Zoom update we're doing is sick, and they'll be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. That might be an issue. Actually, it is an issue, considering you want it in 4 weeks instead of 8.
Okay, do you have another plan?
Currently
looking,
currently looking for someone to fill in his spot. Hopefully I can find someone responsible enough to fill it in. At the moment, no luck.
All right, so how long do you think this project is going to take? Is it going to reach the same point that we had previously that we set for the project, or do you have an estimate?
At the moment, we're trying our best to keep up with our due date. As it seems to be, we might go a little past it.
All right. As the project manager, this is something that has to be taken care of by you. We have set aside these times specifically. So what is the next plan?
Again, hopefully we can find someone to fill in his spot. If anything, I can do it. Another issue arose was our budget. We might have to exceed our budget considering the price increase of the update.
How much of an increase?
About $7,500.
What do you think of that, Joshua?
Honestly, that is a lot. The company set aside a certain amount of funds for this project specifically. So going over that much is pretty unacceptable, I will have to say. Something we cannot do.
I
We
had
have to
no
think about it too. If something comes up, we have to think about another plan.
okay. I had no control in the whole price increase.
Do you know if there is any other way instead of increasing the price?
No, but I believe it's a necessary expense, considering this update increases the security of it all.
I see. So what you're saying is that it's because it's necessary that we have to increase the budget for it.
Yes.
What do you think, Lauren?
If we have to increase, there's a way, if anything, we can try to come up with that amount. What would you say?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Like, we have to come up with that amount if there's a way, since that's a lot.
Yeah, is there a way to like offset that cost? Any options that we have? 7,000 is a lot.
It is a lot. Currently trying to think of other ways to help offset the cost of it all. But at the moment, no idea.
Okay, so we're gonna give you some time. Let's see if you could come up with some options that'll be better for us to go with, and we'll see you in about a week.
All right, sounds good.
And scene.
And scene.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and let Raphael off the hook. Remove your pin. Nice job, Joshua and Lauren, the dynamic duo. Is there anybody else who wants to go into the lines den and try to make their case to the CEO and the VP of IT? Oh, I see a lot of hands. Okay. Ooh. All right, Jesus, we're gonna add your pin. Add a pin. So once again, the floor is yours. You're walking into the office, Jesus, to share the update with what's going on. Joshua and Lauren, you're good for another round. All right, Jesus, the floor is yours.
Hi, Lauren and Joshua. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, Jesus. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to give you guys an update. So the main guy that's in charge of communications is currently out. I have emailed him and I have gotten a name from him for the second guy in charge, the guy he trusts most, and I have put him in charge. Another issue that I wanted to discuss with you is that there is a price increase with the Zoom program. So it's gonna be about 7,500 over budget.
7,500 over budget?
Oh yeah, 7,500.
What do you think of that, Joshua?
That's a tough one, 7,500. Is there any way that could be lowered, or is that a set budget for us that we have to do?
So that is a set budget, and I know it seems like a lot, but in the long run, it's not, because the update is because of some security issues. So if we don't address those issues in the long run, we're gonna, be compromised. We might get information stolen. We might have people in meetings that shouldn't be in there. So in the long run, security-wise, it's not that much.
Okay, we can think about it, but do you have another plan if that doesn't go through?
Yes, I recommend that we use another platform like WebEx or some other sort of conferencing platform.
Some good ideas.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it for my update. If there's any other concerns that you guys might want to address.
Oh, well, thank you, Jesus. We see that, yes, some problems have come up. The 7,500 is a lot of money to go over budget. The company had set aside a specific amount for that. But you did bring up some valid reasons for security. So me and Lauren will be able to discuss that, see if cost outweighs the benefits for that one. And if that doesn't work out, we'll check out the other platforms.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anything else, Lauren?
No, you said it so far, everything.
Yeah, great. So thank you very much, Jesus, for your time. And we'll convene at another week.
Excellent, excellent. Let's give them a round of applause. We're gonna unpin Jesus. He's off the hook. Give me a green check if you want to do one more, or red X if you want to just go ahead and process. All right, I see a lot of green checks. Lauren and Joshua, are you guys up for one more? Okay.
Sure, it's pretty hard, but yeah.
Well, we're gonna have a wild card in this next scenario. So Miguel, I'm gonna pin you, and then the CIO came to this meeting, which is me. So Joshua, I'm gonna take the same position that you took from our conversation in the breakout room. You can take more of Lauren's position, and we'll go from there. Is that understandable, Joshua? So you'll Okay, great. I'll get you off the hook. All right, Mr. Miguel, welcome to the meeting. I don't have a lot of time. It's 11:32. I got a call 11:35. So when's this going to be done, Miguel?
Hey, Eric. Hey, Joshua. So I actually.
And Lauren's in this meeting too. I don't appreciate.
Oh, Lauren as well. Forgive me. So sorry.
Hello.
Hello. So we've actually come up with a few snags in this project. The person who was in charge.
What kind of snags there, Miguel?
So
I can't hear you.
So the person who's in charge of mass communications, he's sick and he won't
Does
be
that
able to
person
work
have
for
a
the next
name,
2
Miguel? Are you a project manager? Do you know the guy's name? What's his name?
I'm so sorry. His name is Steve.
Right,
so
Steve
is gonna be out sick. But luckily he's gonna be out for the next 2 to 3 weeks. But luckily I have Tyrell here who's gonna assist me with taking over some of those communications. Luckily I was able to delegate to him, but there may be a slight slowdown.
I don't believe in luck, Miguel. That was good work. Nice job getting Tyrell in that position. All right, so he's gonna jump in. And what's that gonna look like tangibly?
Tangibly, we may be a day or two behind on getting the emails out to everybody just because he jumped in so short notice.
Okay.
And then the next snag that we hit is Zoom actually updated to a newer version, and there is an additional almost $3 charge. It's $2.99.
Oh, that's not bad. We can afford $3, right, Joshua and Lauren? That's not a big deal.
Well, it's $3 per month per user, so that blows the budget out of the water by about $7,500. But the reason that they updated was for security patches, so it is much more secure than it ever was before, and that falls in line with what we have been aiming for. So that is currently the biggest issue. So
let me get this straight. You came here and you said you lost a team member, and now you're down $7,500. Is that what I'm understanding, Miguel?
At the moment, yes.
And what are you gonna do about that there, sir?
Well, with the budget, I feel like I need to be in talks with the people who control the funds. I'm not 100% sure if that is you or Lauren or Joshua.
Yep.
We may or if you would like to I don't know if the proper word is debate, but amongst yourselves or with me here as well, if this is something you would like to
my contact's calling me, Miguel. So you need money from Lauren, is that what I'm understanding? 75.
Yes.
You approve that, Lauren?
75,000?
7,500.
Okay.
100? When do you need it by?
So
Yeah, hey mom.
Joshua, help me out.
Yeah. Sorry, man. This guy just Oh shoot, I'm not on mute. Sorry.
Um,
I think he
oh man,
had.
I'm so sorry. Trying to keep character. Apologies.
All right, sorry. That was my banker. Yeah, I got a big payday coming. All right, so Lauren 7,500. Miguel's requesting. I think we can put that through procurement and see what we can find. Money for if that's okay with you.
I have to think about it.
Okay.
Are there what would so of course clearly it being over budget is the issue. Would there be any ways I can help with trying to rework the budget or help figuring out if there are things we could cut or add that would help?
Is there a way to cut it in half?
Cutting it in half, the only way I can see that happening is if we cut the amount of users in half. And I don't think that would be beneficial for the company. I feel personally the excuse me, the deficit outweigh not the deficit. The benefits outweigh the deficit in money. Since we were initially upgrading for security, and this new patch that they made was for security. It falls in line with what we were trying to do and what we are aiming to do. So I believe that it's the risk the reward outweighs the risk.
If anything, do you have another plan?
We could possibly switch to a different program to use the voice calling. We could probably use something along the lines of like Google Hangouts or Skype, but we would need more time to sift through all of the different programs, and then it would make the project take more time than initially requested.
So just to summarize, oh, sorry, go ahead, Lauren.
You're saying if we save up, then we'll have more time, but if we want it right away, we'll have to pay more.
Yes.
What do you think of that, Eric and Joshua?
What are your thoughts, Joshua? I'm just so overwhelmed by this conversation. I can't even talk.
So do you think Google Hangouts or Zoom, Skype would have the same features that we've used through Zoom?
Well, it depends on what features exactly you're trying to prioritize.
Okay.
So,
and if we had to use any of those others, do you think we'll have the same lead time?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you think we have the same lead time? So would the project complete with using those different platforms, or would it require more time?
It would require more time just so we can research properly which of the programs we would prefer to use.
Okay. So long story short, we have to pay 7,500 to use the one that we have now, or that we'll be implementing, or spend more time and potentially lose money through, I guess, customer client interactions by implementing a new system.
To an extent, yes, that is the case. I would like to say though, there are free options that we could use in the meantime, but the biggest issue there would be having to get the company accustomed to one of the free versions and then switching them over to the more secure paid for versions that we choose at that time.
No, that makes sense. All right, Miguel. I think that, sounds like you got this under control. Thank you for the update. And let's check in a week. Does that sound good to our team?
Yeah, that works.
All right. Great job, Miguel. Go team. All right, we'll go ahead and remove everyone's pen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you who did not get what was going on there, so it was that Lauren was the good cop, quote unquote, and Joshua was the bad cop in the first two scenarios. In the third scenario, I took on the bad cop role, and Miguel handled it very well. So you throwing the glasses and looking at a book and talking on the phone, and yeah, bad is an understatement for sure. The awful leader. We don't have a whole lot of time to debrief, but just really quickly in the chat, what was something that you took away from that scenario? What was something you've learned, something you observed, something you thought was good, not so good? Just in the chat box, give me an idea of something that you thought was helpful, and we'll talk about that. And I see Jason, you have your hand up, so is something you wanted to share about those 3 scenarios?
I loved how the last 2 scenarios, because I was thinking this in my head as well. It's like if you're asking for like an increase in budget, you have to list why and what are the repercussions of not getting that budget increase. And so what I was thinking of the entire time was, what are the vulnerabilities that could happen? Because you can use a scarce tactic of like, why do we need this increase? And one of the scarce tactics would be, okay, we'll lose money from people either joining those Zoom calls and getting sensitive client information. So that's what was going through my head the entire time with that approach.
Exactly. It's like, what is the cost of us not doing it? Much higher than $7,500 for sure. Getting our private information swiped, having our our meetings messed up by people infiltrating. It's definitely worth the nominal fee to make sure that we're secure. And we also don't know what nature of business we're doing. What if we're working with confidential information? Most businesses are. Yeah, Brian, last comment, and then we'll wrap up today's class.
One takeaway would be just going into that meeting and being prepared. And I also like the fact that you mentioned good cop, bad cop kind of scenario.
Yep.
Because that's essentially could happen in a real life situation where you may have someone that is hard headed or heated in the moment, but being prepared and having a plan set out to speak to them and just being blunt with the facts will help you a long way for that situation.
For sure. And going along with that is having solutions, right? One of our team members got sick, right? But we got Tyrell to step in and take over this role. The money has gone beyond what we thought we were going to spend, but we have ways to offset the costs, and these are what they are. Showing up to those difficult conversations with solutions goes a very long way. So great job. Special thanks to our good cop, bad cop, Lauren and Joshua, the CEO and the VP of IT. Thank you to everybody who was courageous enough to give that a go. But I like this class a lot, like doing this particular lesson, because this is how projects go. You can plan until you're blue in the face, but things are going to go wrong. And being able to handle that well is a skill that's worth developing. All right, 2 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys over time. Tomorrow, I will not be here. There's no project management class tomorrow. Do not come to this link. I will not be here. Don't email me at 9:03. Hey, I'm on the link, but you're not here. Where are you? I'm not here tomorrow, okay? My family's moving. We are staying in our same neighborhood. We're moving to a 2-bedroom apartment. Woohoo, the first time ever in our whole marriage, we're gonna have a 2-bedroom apartment. And tomorrow we're gonna pack literally all day. So do not come to class tomorrow. You guys have some async work you gotta do, but there is no class tomorrow. There's no program on Thursday, okay? No, not my class, not any class. All right, there's no classes, nothing is happening on Thursday. All right. Wednesday, we're gonna finish up the unit on project management, traditional waterfall, talking about how to close a project. And then we're gonna spend time on Wednesday in class preparing for the midterm. The midterm opens at noon on Wednesday and closes on Friday at noon. So you have 48 hours to complete it, okay? 25 questions, multiple choice, true and false. You guys will all get A's. It's not rocket science. It's just going over everything we covered the last 4 weeks. Wednesday is our study session. We'll do that. Deliverables are here. Implementation discussion board. You forgot about San Francisco, 1-pager, and the midterm opens on Wednesday. No project management tomorrow. No program on Thursday. Midterm will take you, I kid you guys not, 15 minutes max to do. It's not super complicated. I'm not here to make your life hard. I just want to assess your learning. That's it. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Take care. Enjoy being with you.
A good day.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Have a good day, Eric. I also enjoyed it too.
Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah, Davian.
Hey Eric, I just had a few questions if we could speak one of these days one to one so I could ask you a little